Welcome back, ladies and gents, to ECS Europe. We're here with the second match of the evening, a bit earlier than expected. We managed to push the game forwards, which is much better than having a massive break. We have NIP and G2, if you're just joining us, and it's definitely going to be a very interesting matchup. And we're ready for the Score Esports pre-match breakdown with Janko.
Yes, we touched briefly upon it in the post-game of our last match, which was NIP versus Mouse. And the story here is obviously Shox and Scream are in amazing form ever since Pro League. They continued that in the ECS when we saw them immediately after that LAN. So they need to keep that up in order for them to match against NIP here. And interestingly enough, first map is Dust 2, and it's not G2 who picked it. So NIP decided to pick Dust 2 against G2, which is their strongest map, when they had options like Overpass, Cobble, Train even. So that's going to be interesting. I guess that they have something in store for them, probably have a good idea how they want to counter G2's playstyle.
Obviously, this is a G2 post-existence now, and I do wonder what is the source of this play from Scream especially. Is it that he's had like a change in roles, perhaps, on the team, or is it because I think if that's the case, then maybe it can last over a longer period of time. Whereas if it's a case of they're just playing well at the moment, or like old Envy style, then I think that probably has a shelf life.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Surely you can have a peak individually, or continue to peak consistently for a long period of time. Usually, individual skill go up and down. It's inconsistent, and when you need it in like particular rounds that you have to win, maybe it's not going to be there that time, and that can lose you a match. Whereas structure and tactics and drills, like drilled team play, that tends to be something that stays, that has endurance. So I mean, do you really see this form just continuing? Because G2 are quite a basic team at the moment with strategy and tactics, especially now existence is gone. So it's all about that individual performance.
Yes, but we always mention Fnatic when we talk about a loose play style that was consistent for a long time. And I always like to say that for me, it was a bit weird. It was an anomaly of sorts, because I agree with you. On paper, it should not be something that can last over a long period of time, because it's really dependent on individual performances of your players, and those can be really up and down at times. So we have to wait and see what is going to happen to G2 moving forwards. I mean, to their play. Are they going to be able to keep up their level of performance? Are they slowly going to build on what they have right now? But they are looking really strong at the moment.
Do we know what the full veto is?
I don't know if we have the full vetoes, Chase. Do you have the vetoes, Janko?
I'm not sure. I know NIP vetoed Inferno, G2 vetoed Mirage, then NIP picked Dust 2, and G2 picked, I'd like to say, Train. But I'm not sure what happens after that. What's the decider?
It would be great to see. It'd be great to see Cash pop up between these two teams, just generally due to the fact that G2 are awesome on Cash, NIP are awesome on Cash, and it's just such a clash of styles. It would just be very interesting. But we are into Dust 2 immediately, so this is going to be NIP on that T side, G2 on the CT side. NIP once again, they've not been having the best time of it pistol-wise, but if they do manage to get that sick out of the gate start on the T side, they are very dangerous, as we saw it just previously against Mousesports, that situation. So here we are. We have pretty much the same pistol round from NIP, but will it be more successful this time?
No.
Thank you, Janko. So we've got 3 players moving into lower tunnel here for the NIP side. Pitts is holding from top mid at present. No aggression, no craziness on short from G2. Shock's not quite in the corner, but close enough to it, and he's going to get some silent taps. They talk about the headshots from CT spawn.
Told ya.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure what to say about that. They just moved up with no nades towards the CT spawn area and nobody checking it. Maybe they were going for a hard read against a G2 play.
Possibly. They were caught off guard by Shox there. But what I want to see now, I'm assuming Pitt is going to die here pretty soon, is if G2 goes again for their MP9 buy, and what is NIP going to do against it? Are they going to force, or are they going for a double eco? They are forcing, and G2 1, 2, will there be more? 3, no, that's an MP7. So 2 MP9s, an MP7, a UMP, and a FAMAS. A lot of SMGs on the side of G2. And they're going for early aggression.
Dust 2, Train, and Cobblestone are the 3 maps in this match. Ooh, Scream. I don't know if you saw a shadow there from Get Right. Nice 180s by him. And he's running out of bullets. 2 players have gone down actually for G2. Smiths is going to come in to take down Forest, leaving Exist alone. He's picked up a UMP. He's got full armor, but RPK coming in from the back will clear things up. So far, so good for G2.
Good play from them. I mean, they had a clear idea of what they wanted to do. It was aggression. They pushed towards top mid, but also Smiths was ready towards the long area to trade when NIP's focus shifts towards top mid. And yes, pistols are powerful, close range, but SMGs are too, and they have an advantage at that point as body's pushing over.
These Yanko throws are pretty epic. We have pretty much a quick cleanup here with these fast playing SMGs.
Yanko should solo cast the entire next eco round.
And this is why what I like from Shox as well. He died in the previous round, but didn't buy an SMG against. He just went with a pistol, and now he has an M4 and still 4K in the bank. And economy really looking strong for NIP. No op for G2. I'm sorry, no op for NIP. Well, Smith has the big green gun.
Oh my god. All right, we've got 2 players in long for G2, and no one currently in short. There's a player in CT as well, so perhaps he will get some sound cues. Perhaps not. That's Shox. The French man with the plan who can.
Look at this push. Look at it. Observe the glory, James. The glory is being observed. And now it's a quick advantage won by G2. Really nice way to do it. What a shot there from Body.
Perhaps that's fed up NIP.
It's going to force NIP's hand to an extent. They're just going to have to commit to the A play. And are they going to go contact? It looks like they're going contact here. Maybe because they don't know that there's 2 AWPs. Maybe they just see, they're thinking, okay, there's just 1 AWP. So we don't have to throw the nades here. We can get further without the nades. But there is an AWP, and it's Smiths by long. He's not going to be able to get much on the initial shot, however. So NIP really cutting a lot of corners here with the low utility, but playing it perfectly with these smokes so far. They've actually done a great job not to lose anybody and get a bomb down here. And look at their favorable positions. Great vantage point.
I like the defensive smoke as well, but Body's creeping, Body's dead. 3 versus 3. Still 2 people in long, and they've got a player up close. Oh, Scream's getting taken down. Smith's looking above the car. Ryback going for the spray. Will finally get it. Bit of a shake there. You can see he expected to get it much earlier than that, but he will do the job after all. I like how they put the smoke onto the corner. I mean, it works in 2 ways. One is that they can look into CT spawn with more safety. I won't say safely, but with more safety. But also, there is a gimmick where you can sit behind the box on the slope and you can barely... What in the blazers was that? It looks like a bit of lag or I don't know, but imagine if he died there.
Obviously just trolling Forest at that point, you know.
It's like
shoot me, I'm standing, shoot me.
It's like he could barely believe it.
Yeah, unlucky timing a little bit for G2 in that round that Smiths was going to smoke off long, but then they were a bit reckless for the retake. Shox trying to throw a nade without first checking if someone was peeking aggressively, but NIP goes for a fast mid take again. They just check it.
How successful? Are they going to go for a push? It looks like RPK's getting in there, going back out, and then going back in again.
He's trying to make it hard for him to commentate then.
Bit of the old in-outs.
Bit of the old in-outs.
Yes, it's a reference, James, to a very good movie. So we'll see if this push will actually be successful here for NIP. They'll get smoked off, but that's not going to deter them too much.
It has the Molotov. The one he throws, yeah.
There it is. Was that good? Looks like it was. Perfect. And we can actually see exactly the effect that Yanko was talking about previously. The player who is playing an AWP there is forced a little bit further back there, and you can see that he's more susceptible to Freiburg. If Freiburg will get that entry, but Smith is there from Goose. Goose is a very strong position for this kind of anti-A rush play, but the frags are coming back in here for the NIP side as the bomb is now picked up by Forrest. He's got assistance from Long, and he will plant force that assistance. However, he is the AWPer, so that's slightly suboptimal. It would be nicer if Get Right had the AWP in this situation, but that's okay. Get Right's going to come close and help Forrest out.
No kit and the bomb is ticking.
Yeah, G2 biding their time and gonna push through the smoke. Ooh, Forrest is gonna get his bell rung. Body's gone down though, so Scream has a decision to make. He's holding his angle for the time being, but he doesn't have a kit. He can't win the round here. Just trying to do a bit more damage, and there it is. Forrest goes down, and that will bring the round to its conclusion. One man surviving for both sides, but it's NIP who are catching up with G2 now. And you can see the money is ruined for the G2 side. Second round in a row for NIP.
Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised that in that setup from G2, Shox was the one with the op and Smith's the one with the rifle. Not really sure what the thought process is behind that. Maybe Shox was just feeling it. But yeah, the strat we see time and time again from NIP wins them the round and forces G2 on an equal.
Indeed. I do feel like NIP's first buy round victory, they got kind of lucky because, you know, they lost a guy to the AWP being pushed in upper dark, and then they just walked out onto A basically. And I don't think you'll see NIP do that if they realize that there's an AWP that could be on car basically, which there was in that round. So that's like an interesting situation for me. I might ask about that later, but NIP needed this. They needed to get back into this more or less straight away. We saw how powerful the T side can be, and against G2 in their current form, they are very, very scary. NIP needs their strengths to be working for them, which is those T sides, and it seems like they're building that now. They're looking to build some solid control in this round. RPK getting completely destroyed there. Just two Molotovs and all the AKs. And NIP needs to be careful not to lose more than one player. 2 AKs now for G2 actually, so there is some danger to be had.
There is a bit of bounty, bit of booty for G2 to collect. Indeed, they will collect said booty. 2 AKs for them. Those AKs will be definitely a plus over M4s, although Shock's still playing close. I think he will be looking at attack as the best form of defense here to try and hold on to this. But it seems he might still be concerned with doing some damage to the T economy here. But NIP are about to win their third round in a row, so I think maybe the weapon save was the more optimal play.
I mean, they're going to be able to buy anyway, and
not AKs though.
And Screamer's going to be able to save one of the AKs, which he has been able to save a couple rounds now. So probably just wanting to get some extra damage in, and wasn't successful. And getting damage against NIP, I guess that is a pretty important deal, as they tend to play a bit more consistently than other teams, a little bit more disciplined. Poor man's Molotov. Sorry, smoke grenade.
It's a very poor man's Molotov there.
Yeah, yeah, it is, yeah.
All right, well, we've got a challenge for the long area. There's one person towards blue, that is Freiberg. Again, you can't check his position from ramp, but if he is not talking nonsense, let's watch the tease here. They're pushing. Oh my God.
Shox
Help me, Dan. I don't know what I'm doing.
This is the right off.
Do you want me to take over?
Go, Yanko. You just do it.
As we see Get-Right pushing Cat, he's got control of the bomb site, doesn't have the C4. Forrest is coming from Cat. Cat with it, Scream, gets the headshot. Get-Right gets the trade. He can pick up the bomb now, but he's looking to challenge still. It's not probably the best decision, seeing as the CTs are already in pit, body on the flank. He's gonna plant the bomb. That's good. Now he has a chance. He needs to challenge at some point, though. Needs to get a kill, then he can play it more passively again. Shox with low HP, picking up a nade, it seems. He challenges first, gets the info for his team. Now it's up to Body and RPK gets the headshot from long through the box. Secures the round for G2.
Amazing.
It's like a children's story, which is like just aggression at the end of it. Oh man.
To be fair though, he
That's my childhood
in that round, James.
That's exactly how my childhood went.
Mine too. Yeah, I think my mind exploded there.
But the thing is, it's not a poor man's smoke. It's, in a sense, you don't want to waste the smoke just for crossing mid. So the HG does the job well enough. And G2 win an important round for them. We see that the money is pretty low, pretty much for both teams. So this is a crucial round. And Smith dies.
Whoa, just an elbow shown there, but that's enough for Forrest. Good start by the T's on this round as G2 retake the lead. Shox on a mag 7 now. And he is in the jumping position. I like the Max 7 here, but I don't know if he'll get an opportunity to use it anytime soon.
With that smoke there, I mean, maybe there is an opportunity, but we'll see. Sox will reposition closer to mid. This is definitely a smart call, as they really don't know what's up with NIP right now, and gambling is going to be a good bet. And you can see Forrest is looking for a player who's curious about information, because it's often you're going to get a player nosing around mid, even on one of those gap angles, just trying to see what the hell's going on. But at this point in time, NIP still haven't given it away. They're going to pressure towards A, make it a fake actually, or just delay the rotation with all the pressure. They're not selling it heavily, but it doesn't even matter because they're going to delay 3 players. If this kill goes easily to the NIP side on body, that's the round. I mean, how on earth did G2 even get to B right now? There's 3 players stuck on the A side of the map, and they'll clear out Freiburg pretty quickly, so they can start to run. But there's a pit there on mid. There's going to be a player in upper dark. It's going to be very hard to make this work. Will they even try?
Cool pit going for a bit of pre-fire, but
yeah,
didn't work out, or maybe he clicked by mistake, who knows. Well, Get Right needs to get a kill here because Forrest on the site on his own. Get Right rushing back now. Oh, the timing, Forrest was about to see somebody moves away now towards the door. Get Right coming in for help. Screen push is not going to work out for him. Get Right's just too good, isn't he? Shox doesn't even know what hit him, but it was Get Right, and he will finish him off straight in the face. AWP not collected because Forrest already has one.
Almost as good as me, James.
Almost as good as Janko, who is retired for other reasons, of course. 4-4.
I mean, Smith often goes for those mid picks early on, and he's generally pretty good at them. The only question is, do you really want to do it on such an important round, right?
Yeah.
Do you really want to take that risk? I guess the answer is yes. So I would prefer something a bit more safer. Yes, aggression is fine, but maybe boost up Cat with 2 players with that tower watching towards lower B. Maybe try to get an aggressive peek from short and then fall back. This is, I mean, the mid peek is super risky for me early on, especially because his opponents expect it at this point, right? Because they know he likes to do it.
And also,
so
it's something that the Ts will always love to take that risk, whereas the CTs, it's a completely different story. If you lose a guy early in the round, that round is really screwed up for you, really screwed up. But either way, we've got Freiburg here, just clearing out players all over the place, and that's going to be the round 1 by NIP as they go 5-4. And starting to take some dominance here. Their money's still not looking too amazing.
I mean, it's also possible that he misjudged the economy of NIP because NIP did win 3 rounds in a row beforehand. So maybe he wasn't aware that they were low on money as well. But G2 goes for a buy, 2 FAMASes, 3 and 4, no up. They have to make something happen here early.
All right, then. It's a similar setup, if not the same, from G2. 1 player in CT, 2 towards long. Short has been abandoned for the time being, 2, of course, in B. You can see NIP maybe expecting G2 to try and mix things up here with some early aggression, but that's not going to be the case. See some harassment over towards long. While NIP move to take control of the short area. They've still got lots of time to have a look through mid, if they so please. Bomb will be dropped on short for the time being. Maybe G2 will hear that, but at this point it's not really that important with so much time left on the clock. So Smith's going for a bit of aggression here. No AWP for him. Oh, he spotted Pit a bit, but he is quite exposed. He could get taken down by the T's here. And then what happens? Down to 15 HP. Shox from the barrels. He was there for support.
Smith's playing an incredibly risky game. It's a big surprise he didn't go down in that position, so exposed. And he's lucky he had Shox here for backup. Shox is going to continue picking up another kill there, putting an IP into a spot where they pretty much have to commit now to something pretty soon. They've got 40 seconds and 3 players. Gerro's looking to take the risk. Gets completely full flash there, so we see the wild spray. Body with a very strong off angle. Surely there's nothing Exist can do against this. There's too many spots. You can see the gun. It's such a favorable position to be in. And as he's standing so much further away from the angle than Exist is, he gets to see Exist first. And that's kind of how that works. The further, or rather the closer you are to an angle, the more at disadvantage you actually are on the peak to being able to see the player first. And that's going to be the 5-5. So NIP hadn't built up that much money, and they're gonna spend everything in this round to try to stop GT from taking momentum away.
So we've got a fast short push coming in for G2. So the default will be different on this occasion. 2-man push coming in, and there's potential support from mid doors here. We can see, I think it's Shox playing close. Smith brings the crosshair down to kill Forest. And then we've got Pit holding down short. So both teams fighting for the mid area here. And Scream is not going to win the duel on short. That's going to put G2 at a severe disadvantage now. Just Body and Smith. Shox has been taken care of as well. And IP moving towards the A site with a lurker in the middle of mid, which Body might not expect here. Speaking of off angles, we saw one from Body towards B. You can see Pit moving back. So he will hold an angle so you can see them jumping onto the box. By the time Body moves there, he's looking for the inevitable lurker and he will find them. But Pit will finish off both remaining G2 players. And the money is not good for G2.
G2 went for obviously mid aggression with boost towards Cat, having players close to mid doors, but simply they lost all the aim duels, and that's where the round falls apart for them.
I really liked the fact that they decided to take the mid aggression, because I feel like against a team like NIP as well, generally it's cool as it's a nice little mix up to the pace to throw into NIP, but also a team like G2, I feel like they've got more advantages the shorter the round is. The longer the round goes on, the more time you'll see NIP using their utility to get advantages, and the better the results should be in theory for NIP. So I do like that G2 play aggressively against NIP, also because of their style, right? But we got the Deeks coming in here, and
it's dangerous for NIP now.
Indeed.
Yeah, there's a bit of a, RPK can run distraction or the other way around. Well, I was just going to say because of Shox, but there's a bit of distraction from Shox, and that will do the job for RPK. 2 kills for him, leaving Forest alone versus 2. Body's picked up an AK as well, and there's a split coming in for the CTs. Doesn't seem they may wait for the bomb to go down. Forest looks just in time, but can't get the tap onto Body, who will shoot him in the head first. So G2 gets an unlikely round here. 6-6, nothing between these two teams.
And that was pretty awkward. Obviously, Forrest wanted to find the AK there. You could see he's like talking to his teammates on comms, like, guys, where's the AK? And then he just gets caught on a bad timing. That's unfortunate for him.
And NIP losing to pistols.
Yeah? Don't see that every day.
On Dust 2, no less. Oh, sometimes you get digged.
Yeah.
Or P250 in this case.
Indeed. Indeed. But again, I was going to say before Shox went down that, we've seen a lot of situations where one person's running distraction and the other person comes in to finish things off. There have been some interesting setups with a P250 and a Scout, actually, I want to say from Luminosity, over towards the B-bomb site on Ecos in such a fashion as well. So I think it was Fallen playing from the box or from the window, and there was a play of a P250 by the car.
They're going just for the straight-up contact play. This is really cool to see. It's contact into mid. That's so nice because sometimes that just catches teams off guard. Sometimes teams look for the grenades as the indication of the aggression, but they just got a lot of information for no expenditure on their utility, of which they have very low utility because their economy is so bad. So it's really nice that they NIP cut the corner in this way. And then they spot that there's nobody in mid, and so they go for the B play. This is how it's done, but you have to hit the shots now, NIP, and then just not getting it done. Body's going absolutely massive with the help of Scream. What a beautiful defense coming in from Body. 3 frags there for him. Once again leaving Forest in the clutch, but he does have some time to set up. However, he's got a player close to the doors. He's going to go straight to Dark. There's 2 players. Surely Forest can't get this done. Goes for the first peek there. It's a shallow peek, which is good, but it's not going to happen. He heads a player in his flank, and that's the round. But you could see an IP there. No utility peek. Find out no one's in CT. Understanding that's the best play there is the B split, but Body just shut them down.
Now the money has been ruined for the Swedes, and G2 for at least the 3rd time have taken the lead in the first half of this series. This is a best of 3. The other 2 maps will be Train and Cobblers coming up a bit later on, but for now, you'll see he will take the lead in the first half. 2 rounds left. Looking like G2 in fairness. We've got a lot of P250s here for NIP. 2 smokes and 2 flashes, but Scream may come in to ruin the party here. Gonna go for the bit of a blind spot on the bricks, but he'll only get 1 frag. Body coming in with some aggression now to try and close things, but no kill for him just yet. Forest finally going down.
Awkward stuff. I've got Smiths there who will cover the angle now, but this is going to be hard to break, actually. They do drop the smoke, but it's still hard because Smiths knows how to play against smokes like this. And see, exactly, he's looking for that spot. He doesn't even need to be able to see it's very obvious when T's put the smoke forward. It's very, very common that they'll try to jump on that box.
Yes.
We should pay you by the word next time.
Okay, because I obviously have an issue with talking a lot.
Well, down goes Smiths again. Again, the elbow just, that was really cool. Like, Forrest sees the elbow, he's like, yeah, I know what your head is. I'm going to shoot you in the face. Super fast start, and again, an early pick here will be to G2's detriment. And Body with a mirror image kill of one we saw from him earlier on in this half as well. So G2 answering back swiftly, aggressively, sternly.
Yeah, Body is he's a pretty good player. Like, we're seeing more and more from him, which is really cool. And he's able to equalize it 4 versus 4, and NIP perhaps looking to set up the same set piece. But no Molotov, though, to do it with. And it might be okay because Forrest is able to get another pick there towards Body. And they're going to be up against 2 players here. Scream is one, so that is problems. Scream has been so hot. There's the first frag. Get right going into the trade here, but still has to deal with Scream. Scream going for the repeats there. Not able to get the frag, actually. Get right able to get a couple sprays in there to finish it off. Or bursts, rather. Leaving Shocks in the clutch. 1 versus 2, very doable.
Well, he's got the range with the AWP, but will he find the angles? See, Get Right is holding 4 short as well. And I think there must be... You often see people wallbanging that one, but Get Right's actually not even going to wait. He is repositioning and taking Shocks by surprise. The place he just wallbanged is where he will die from Get Right. Ever the smart player here for NIP. It's often you see people going for the wallbang there, but they don't really go for it on the short plant boxes. I don't know how successful they will be, but it's fairly common to find somebody there once they realise you're on long. Anyway, G2 will be taking the lead into the first half here over NIP, just to 1 round though. Body top fragging for his side. One of the maybe the strongest of the pickups on the French teams.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, go ahead, Janko.
Definitely the strongest. I mean, out of the 2.
Yeah, all of the 2 players.
Definitely the stronger pick, and it seems that on Dust 2, especially on that CT side towards the B bomb side, he's really comfortable and confident in holding that bomb side down, which is of big importance for his team.
Yeah, Body's doing well. We'll follow the progress of Devil also as Envy continue through this year. The upcoming major as well, I'm sure people will be working very hard indeed.
They're actually in the qualifiers, James.
Nice.
Yes, they have to go through the LAN qualifiers.
Indeed, they do.
They lost their legend status with their performance in Columbus.
They are legends no more. Do we have 2 NA Legends teams?
Yes, CLG and Liquid.
CLG and Liquid. Well,
And I mean, if you want to count Luminosity in,
they're a South American team
okay,
who are just wrecking North America.
okay,
That's how I'd like to put
on
it.
their own turf.
Yeah. So that's it. It's an interesting. We have a bit of a pause here. So while we do, I think CLG still have 4 players, although Freakazoid is kind of hinting at joining a team. It could be CLG. I think people would expect it to more likely be Echo Fox because they were playing with a sub in. Who's that guy again?
Which one, sorry?
Just to play the guy that Echo Fox was playing with.
Frost?
From like no, he's some dude from like Pugs. I think he plays in FPL in North America.
Oh my goodness, this is annoying.
No, not Irokanji. Anyway, we know who he is. So,
I know who you mean. It always reminds me of ramen for some reason.
Ichiban.
Ichiban, yeah, there we go. Anyway, back into the match.
Yeah.
Back into the match, and we have G2 creeping up the short area. Smiths with those 20 bullets on the Glock. Going to get himself 2 frags. Body coming in to body some of these CTs. And Exist is soon going to die. So that was a very fast pistol round indeed. And we'll talk more about North American Counter-Strike, Majors, Envy and other things another time. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see if NIP did enough on their T side, because
the CT side of G2 there was pretty respectable, to say the least. They managed to get a lot of rounds off of NIP, which is one of the winning conditions, is just hindering that NIP CT side. And obviously, in being able to win the pistol again, G2 are in a spot where they can take advantage. And NIP need to work on those pistol rounds, man. It's been a hurricane of pistol losses recently. Now we just have to see a good anti-eco play from G2. You can see NIP decided to go for the full save, actually, pretty much. Just a few pistols invested in. And G2 looking like they want to go for the B play after just waiting a little bit.
It's interesting that G2 have... Okay, they've got 3 people moving into the B bomb site. Because if you look at Smiths, he's looking at door and short at the same time. And it was a bit panicky the way he was doing it before, with no one supporting him from lower tunnel. But there we go. It seems the website, the bomb site will be in the control of G2 now. And Smiths is, of course, going to get taken down top mid on his own in isolation. So the scouts picked up, but Shox will be the cleanup operation. So Smiths has done his job with the information. Get right, though. Pushing through. There's no support for the bomb plant here. How did he... There's a guy in CT spawn.
That was awkward.
I know there was a smoke at the door, so he must have been standing in the smoke.
Honestly, that's the worst feeling in the world, when you're the guy carrying the C4, because you would be surprised how many players don't want to carry the bomb and don't want to be arsed with planting it. So when you're the guy who does it, and your teammates have, of course, cleared the site and they're running off, trying to get more kills.
Of course.
And you die while you're planting the bomb. It's extremely frustrating. Probably one of the most frustrating things in the world. Thanks for cover, mates. Thanks.
So, 2 CTs on short, and they're both dead. Over to you, Dan.
Yeah, no more. One quick kill from Forest before it all ends. And G2 kicking off pretty well in this second half. NIP are in a lot of trouble, although Pit is straight on the AWP. So let's see if he can get something done with that. I mean, it's going to be a very different dynamic as to, you know, Smiths on the AWP on the CT side. We won't see Pit going for all those risky plays. Pit is supposed to be, you know, much more solid. He's supposed to be a bit more of a support player, picks up the AWP as and when necessary. And it's what he does here on the CT side, and the challenge comes in onto the long area. And
nice.
NIP are loving this at the moment. 2 frags for Freiburg. And just 3 players left for G2 now, and they're looking at maybe going through mid. Where's the pop flash from Scream? Is there going to be a pop flash from Scream, or he's just going to walk down? Does he have a flash? Yes, he does. He's got all full nades. No pop flash required, it would seem, as Forest falls back and allows them to push forwards. But they have the information now. Forest is just trying to play delay, slow them down, and let his teammates come in to help.
Yeah, trying to hide behind the smoke, but the flash just goes on for too long, and Shox will take him down. So G2 with a chance now. They had a 3 versus 5. A bit paranoid of the smoke on this occasion because of Get Right, and guess where Get Right's coming in? He's coming into the back, of course. Spot Smiths, and we'll try to find a headshot. Man advantage for the Ts. They've got a CT, they've got loads of flashes as well. Speaking of flashes, G2 with the disadvantage. Going to come in for the aggression, but 2 people there means that the CTs can start to charge the site because there's only one on the site itself. Coming back in is Scream, but he's going to get flashed. Get Right now, taking down Shox in the tunnel. 2 quick frags, though, for the Ts. Now we're down to 1 versus 1. Get Right and Scream. Trying to pre-fire with Scream. Get Right tries to kind of bounce around the corner, but not going to happen. G2 survive. 3 versus 5 to 1 versus 1. G2 take the round.
Yeah, and you can see the ruthless efficiency of Scream, and it's great to see that, you know, he's not afraid to go for more sprays and so on, because it used to be that the tapping style was you know, he would live and die by it, and often die more due to the problem of the inconsistency of it with the lack of the first bullet accuracy. But here we go, we got Shox moving in now for his own tap shenanigans and burst shenanigans there. Oh my god, just knocking down all those pins. Strike for Shoxy, and then that's going to be the round. The eco cleaned up, and G2 are accelerating rapidly here in this round, and rather in this first map.
Well, yes.
Well,
the thing is, this is why I was surprised to see that NIP picked Dust 2. They had so many options open. Overpass, Cobble, Cash even. And if G2 wins this game, they will be securing the land spot immediately.
Alrighty then. 2 AWPs for NIP and 2 people in the pits and many bodies outside long, all belonging to the T's. Smiths is alone now. Seeing some really fast rounds here, but a change of fortune for sure. Pitt gonna get taken down, trying to support his homies over towards long. So Smiths is on the site. Smiths is without the bomb. Smiths is without teammates. Smiths is without any HP, as Forest will put him on 0. 5-round lead for G2. They have a lot of money in the bank here, so NIP are going to have that economical pressure coming right back up again here for G2. Full buy, tons of Molotovs. They've all bought exactly the same grenades, which is kind of cute. Double flash, smoke, Molotov. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the HE is not nearly as valuable as a Molotov, and having extra flashes is always good. It's definitely preferable in most cases. In the majority of cases, HE's very inconsistent. And G2, they're only 3 away. This is so tight for NIP. They have very limited utility here, and it's gonna be hard to play against G2 because NIP, they don't want to get too aggressive here. I'd rather let G2 make an error, and Forest is close to those doors. Oh, it's so close. Will somebody be jumping over to Xbox? Forest spots ahead for a second, but can't get an angle to take the shot, but Get Right can, and he'll take down the guy on Xbox, and now it's going to be a nice little situation here for NIP. They got a nice setup to defend against a B split or against any mid aggression. They're going to go for the boost here. Now, this is the only time when a boost like this can be good. If you take this risk after already that spot being cleared and spotted, and you can see that they'll get flashed off and they're going to give up the ghost here. Continuing with that 3-man mid pressure here from NIP. They pick up another frag whilst G2 just wait around.
So what is the play from G2? They've been distracted. Body's made his way into CT spawn. Now, has he been detected by these CTs? It does not appear so, but it's a 4 versus 2. Indeed, Exist is looking for him, so maybe they did raise the alarm there. And Exist is almost getting taken down in the smoke by Scream, but Scream is alone with the bomb and 30 seconds. So he's got time, he's got opportunity. He's got the one-taps, but will they talk about them in this round? Pitt's going to be the first aggressor there on the low grounds, and Scream is going to be surely realizing that someone else is surely soon to pop out, and it will be Freiburg on the site. Very late peak indeed, and it pays off. NIP surviving with 4 players.
Man, whenever Scream's playing lately, I'm just thinking to myself, this guy is the human highlight generator. I'm just waiting to see the highlight change. But there was none. I was sadly disappointed in that round. But G2, they will get stopped here, and NIP are close to breaking them entirely. Their buy is already pretty lacking.
G2 moving towards the B-bomb site. They're in a tunnel, and they're waiting for the nades. They have many flashes, and it seems they're just going to just go straight in there. They've got one player lurking towards the doors. I believe that is Shox with an AK and no nades. Molotov coming in for the back. Get Right's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Can't take down Smiths, but he has teammates who can. There are no nades apart from one flash on these remaining CTs. Man advantage for the T's, but the bomb's not going down yet, and they're putting shots all the way in T4 now to cover the tunnel. Freiburg goes down, and now Nip may have a problem. Retaking versus 4 with an AWP and an AK, definitely less than ideal.
Absolutely, it's very hard round for NIP to win. Let's see if Forest can get something quick. I mean, this is such a hard bomb site to retake, just generally speaking, but against 3 AKs and a deagle with no nades left now. I mean, they have a kit, sure, but otherwise, not much really to work with. And just playing the exits is Forest, and Pitt will try to save the AWP. So let's see how much chaos Forest can cause here. He's just going to go for it, sees the shadow, and the bait is real, the patience is real, and it's going to pay off for Forest. But who else would he be able to take down, and will there be anyone else? Looks like there won't. Pitt will save the AWP, and that'll be the end of the round. G2 going to 14, now 2 away. Nice little swipe there from Pitt.
I think the problem here is we talked about how you need to defend B bomb site as a duo, right? You can't have your players split, and that's exactly what happened with Forest and Get Right. Get Right was behind the box on platform, and Forest was outside towards mid. G2 does this a lot. Shox is faking a mid to B split in a sense that he's alone throwing stuff towards mid while his team just explodes towards the B bomb site. Get Right dies, gets flushed out with a Molotov, and Forest is nowhere near to be able to do something about it. And on that kind of a sketchy buy for G2, they win a really important round.
So we have that, a variation actually from G2, I think. Actually, it's the same default that they were playing against Astralis, more or less. with the flash before the players emerge from lower tunnel. But it's a lot faster than it was against Astralis, so maybe they have adjusted to the hard counters we were seeing from Astralis in that particular map. But back to this one, they've got a man advantage against NIP. And good map control for the time being. Moving towards short now. There are 2/3 players over towards A, one of them being in CT spawn. Get right, having a look. Spotting RPK actually, but no kills just yet. We've got Shox heavily tagged as well. Loads of nades flying in to keep Get Right away.
Nicely done. Get Right spotting one of the players that for a quick frag as he tried to split onto the A bomb site. Now there's nobody to worry about, and Get Right spotted the information that no one's catwalk, I think. So the players on long don't have to worry about their flanking. They're going to get both frags here, both turning their full attention towards long. Pit with another one, finding that headshot. Just missed left now with the AK. Going to just try to fake flash his way forwards to try to get something done, but so far NIP playing a pretty safe position. Just a head spotted there for a moment. Smith, he's going to go down in the end, and NIP will just save themselves in that round, and they have 2 AWPs saved as well. So if they ever had a chance, I mean, they've really created something here to try to steal this map back. It would still be tough though, but at least they've got Nico to deal with. Ooh, Tech 9, 2 flashes and a smoke grenade.
Dig. Onto Shox. He's got the gun. He's got the other AWP. His other AWP is a Deagle.
Scream and Shox Deagles. Let's go.
Ooh, RPK, I think he got tagged.
Yeah.
That is a nice swipe there. Not the easiest one to do, by any means. So G2 moving quickly. I think we might have safety in numbers. 2 flashes, and that smoke may be in their favor here. Let's see if they're willing to push through it. You can use that for the pop flash into slope. Pit is flash, but he's going to take down the first player and the second one. How many more can he find? They're approaching the site. Obviously, you can see the plan is to plant a bomb there. Can NIP stop them from doing so? Scream is exposed, but he'll get the frag regardless. And Shox is the last man standing now for his team. Another 1D coming in, but no plant for G2, which is the most important thing. NIP closing the gap.
Yeah, the gap will be tightened indeed. So it starts to get a little bit worrying for G2, but they have had some relative consistency at just getting into these bomb sites, winning these one-on-ones. So it's honestly like quite hard to predict how this is going to end up.
Double ops for NIP.
Ooh.
Just the RPK, I think he had like $3,000-ish at the beginning of this round. Only 1 kill there for Get Right. Nice and aggressive, and that's going to be the extra gun that G2 needed, or an upgrade since they lost a player. Shox goes down as well. That is a huge frag for Pit. Forrest coming in with a second AWP there. Takes Smith down, tries to avoid getting headshot there. He's got flashes coming in from his teammates, which will slowly advance and exists with a 2-man spray down. That will destroy the buy of G2. Where is their money? Nowhere to be seen.
The problem with that previous buy is, okay, now they're probably going to go for an eco, and then they buy on 14-13, right? So if they lose that round and don't get a plant, then they're around 3K. So what are they going to do on 14-14? You know, they're either going to have a non-optimal buy, or they're going to eco and forfeit the overtime, at least to NIP. So that's maybe something you should keep an eye on when you're deciding whether you want to force or not, the number of rounds you have left actually in the match.
Right. We're going to see if that will really come into play here. Although, you know, there was a quick kill made, and Scream, the only guy that bought Helmet and Kevlar, is actually going to be on an M4 now, which is a really cool way to play this sort of a round in some senses. If you have like a super individually focused team like that, with the star players, Scream and Shox, hitting their form lately. But we'll have to see if they can get something out of this. Nice little clearance here of the immediate areas by Catwalk as G2 progress onto the A side. Here they go, picking Shox out of the air. Scream coming in. Oh, there it is, the burst for the headshot. That's 1 player down. The AWP is dealt with, but it's just Scream gets 2 more. Well, 2 in total, sorry. And that's going to be 2 players surviving for an IP. So always dangerous, G2, always dangerous.
Pit's doing great work with the AWP on the CT side, holding angles and just wrecking people. Forrest up there with 23 kills as well. The Shox is all close to the 30 bomb, but is the 30 bomb enough to take G2 over the line here? 14-13 now, NIP just 1 round behind. 4 AWPs on the server. Shox and Smith coming in to join in on the fun. So we're going to have some AWP duels coming up. Shox holding angles over towards the B-bomb site. So if GetRight jumps on the ledge, he's going to be straight into Shox's crosshair. And while Shox holds that angle, RPK is going to start coming in. So this is some interesting harassment over towards the B-bomb site. And it's going to work out. GetRight going down. Forrest trying to answer elsewhere, but he's going to get taken down. Freiberg going to get killed on the flank. And there's 2 CTs left all of a sudden versus 4 G2 players. The bomb falls down on short though, and Body's susceptible as well. One-on-one with Exist, but jumping is going to shoot him straight in the face. Shox to finish things off here, and G2 take it to map point finally.
What was that? Jumping headshot, but yeah, it was obvious that G2 towards the B-bomb side, that Shox was holding the angles and clearing them one by one. And RPK then used that to get a bit further into the B-bomb side, but they were a bit out of sync since the bomb and one more player were all the way on top mid, but didn't influence the outcome of the round in the end.
3 AWPs continue and 3 FAMASs begin on the NIP side. They've done well to catch up to this point, but could they be headed towards the end of the road here? Got a G2 setting up towards B, but they've still got 2 players top mid. Maybe waiting for some aggression from the CTs, and perhaps we'll see some. You can see Forrest there. He's close to the MP9. GetRight's in fact just going to flash for Forrest to escape to a safe haven for the time being. Moving over towards the B-bomb site now. And again, if the CTs jump up there, then Shox is going to get the frag onto GetRight. 5 versus 3, so NIP in a lot of trouble here as they go for the retake. Body in position to come in for the flank, probably intending to jump into CT spawn, I would say, as there is another player in lower tunnel while the bomb's being retrieved. So we'll see what NIP can do here.
Pretty funny because we're in a situation where the bomb didn't go down for the longest time there, but Body is, with that flank, going to be able to do insane amounts of damage, and that's going to be all that it takes to win this last round. What an amazing display there from G2, continuing to be dominant. Again, NIP managed to get 13 rounds. They did a pretty good job. G2 stopped them from having that really nice T side that we're used to seeing. So, what was this game like for you?
13 rounds without a single pistol, then NIP continues to be pretty awful in pistol rounds, and it is pretty hard. You have to give props to them because after, yes, they lose the initial 3 rounds, but then they managed to string a couple of gun rounds in the end. I feel that it wasn't a case of any team basically making a lot of mistakes. In the end, those pistol rounds really helped G2 to edge out NIP, and again, I really am a bit surprised that NIP decided to play Dust 2, because whoever wins this game is the team who clinches the 2nd spot, which takes you straight to the Wembley LAN finals. The team that loses is going to have to play out with 3 other teams in the playoffs to fight for those last 2 spots. So, I mean, can't really dwell on it too much. The map is over. They went for Dust 2, they lost, so now they're gonna have to look for redemption on Train.
Well, unless you have anything to add, James, it is time to go to a quick break, guys, whilst the players set up map 2. It will be Train, as just mentioned, and it is very important, as Janko's just said, that NIP stave off the win here away from G2, try to get that win for themselves in that 3rd map. Let's see if they're going to do it first to break. We'll see you very shortly. Welcome back, guys. It's time for map 2 between G2 and NIP. Very important matches here to decide who will make it to LAN, who will make it to the playoffs of the ECS, and it's time for train. So NIP, they picked basically into G2, then lost after losing both pistol rounds, which seems characteristic, and now train.
I mean, we were joking off air that maybe for this match, Xist started vetoing again instead of threats, because it's not only that Dust 2 is not the best map for NIP, in my opinion, it's also that it is actually the best map for G2. So with having a deep map pool as NIP has, why don't they pick, let's say, Overpass? It's a map that G2 doesn't play at all, and NIP has played it with mixed success, granted, but still they should be more prepared on it than G2 is. They went for a gamble, I'd say, for a risky pick to play G2 on Dust, and it didn't pay off for them. They're 1-0 down. Okay, now they're playing Train, which is a map that they can play, no doubt, but it's probably the second best map for G2.
I think NIP is screwed.
Yes, okay, James. That is also a way to put it.
Well, let's see if they can win the pistol round, first of all. That would be a good start, and Pitt's going to pick up a frag, so maybe there is hope here for NIP not to lose every single pistol round of their lives, except for the one that they did actually win today. Anyway, so we have interestingly, actually, I guess it does make sense. Scream with the smoke and with the kit and no Kevlar out of all the players, and to be honest, Scream's only going to face for about a millisecond, and then shoot you in the face. So, in theory, he's probably the best player to be Kevlarless in this setup from that perspective. And again, IP with their man advantage, they're deciding to go into the inner bomb site, and there's a rotation in there, James, but only one man actually there.
Well, Scream spots. Can he pop, though? There's the first one. Gets this play popped off. Very patient shot onto Get Right as well. Bomb not being planted just yet. Scream has finally been taken down. But the NIP players are kind of stuck in two directions here. Shox with a great one tap. So now it's a 2 versus 2. He's got to exist over towards Ivy. Shox not sure if he should try and help his teammate or go for this kill onto Freiberg. Freiberg dancing around the train, as is Shox. Meanwhile, there's still a duel going on behind these two as well. 2 1v1s happening, so you can see RPK looking for Exist now. Exist going for the bit of the burst fire, jumping all over the place to try and avoid getting headshot. He won't get headshot, but he will die as well as teammates. The pistol round, guess what, Dan? Doesn't go to NIP.
NIP lose pistol round? Oh my god. I didn't expect this, James.
The thing is, we were talking previously when we were casting NIP how the T side may not be as strong for them without a good start, right? But in the game against on Dust 2 previously saw them, yes, they lost both pistol rounds, but they won gun rounds every time and managed to string a couple of rounds together. So here they decide to actually force, probably because they are expecting G2 to have a bunch of MP9s.
And force on a map like this is actually really respectable with the set piece onto A, as we're going to see. Really fastly executed here by NIP, because the smokes are going to allow you to get into very close engagements with the Tech-9s. It's ideal, and they're actually going to turn around here, trying to deal with Smith. Smith doesn't get a frag there, although eventually there is a trade for Scream, but still it's a bit awkward. Get Right finally will get another trade going in for his team. Oh, that pop mid-air from Get Right, the dink as well to follow, and now Scream is dead, and all of a sudden you got Body versus Forest and Get Right. NIP in with a really nice round now, potentially. Body scanning the bomb site, trying to find what he can, but these players are all over the place right now, and in fact Get Right, he's like, see you later, I'm off to the B-bomb site, goes through CT spawn. I think Body may have heard him actually, and he's starting to linger towards that connector and B area, but will he guess correctly? Because also Forest is over on B now as well. This is a really hard situation for Body with an MP9. Here he goes, bomb down, trying to tap with the MP9. Not the best weapon for that, but he's got to make do with what he's got, and he's going to try to push forwards now with an MP9 into the mid and close ranges, hopefully for him, as he encircles his train, looking for Get Right. Get Right just toying with him, opening up Bodies back to his teammate perhaps. Where's Forest at? Forest is not even required. Get Right with a god-tier performance in this round with that UMP. Unbelievable.
I think that Shox was one of the players who had an SMG, but I'm not really sure what that jump was. Obviously a great shot from Get Right to get the kill, but that completely ruined the round for G2 and that missed spray from Smith, who had a good flank, but G2 decided to force it right back, and now we'll get to see the NIP's anti-force buy on train. And this is something they do. They are just very passive in the beginning of the round, waiting for a push from the CTs, and most of the time they will just group for an outside push using all of the smokes, Molotovs to clear the close corners.
So Body's holding a one-tap angle, and Exist is going to walk straight into it, but Body will be the one to get taken down. I think Exist might have been dinked through the wall there, I'm not sure, but either way, it is a 5 versus 4 now. Just wanted to say, like, Get Right is so good at having a read as to when someone pushing him is going to be behind cover and changing his position entirely to where he's expected to be. Very sneaky stuff. We've seen that over multiple maps today alone. So G2, again, they are on the force here, so they're still going to be quite dangerous despite being a man down. Looks like we have a smoke execute coming in, but this can be a problem for NIP when they're trying to get the bomb down. You can see, based on where those smokes are, there's not very much space for them to actually plant the bomb, and we might see the CTs pushing through the smoke, but there are still some open areas, and Shox is coming in, doing massive damage with the scout here, getting taken down though, 4 versus 2, so G2, the potential was there, but in reality, it is Scream alone versus 4 with full armor and a deagle, so at this point he might consider even holding a passive angle to save what he has. $100 in the bank here, so we're going to see an eco coming up for G2 in the next round.
Overall, a pretty interesting situation developing. NIP able to lose the piss round, but the thing is, that's the funny thing is that if you lose that piss round, okay, that sucks. But if you actually win the force, you actually end up in this situation where you are better off economically and your opponent's worse off economically than if you just straight up won the pistol round. So this ends up being, a really good start for NIP, especially considering how many players they kept alive against the force buy. Now NIP are basically in the most ideal position. So it's going to be very interesting to see how their train game will fare, because NIP, I haven't seen them play a lot of train. They're a team that, actually, that said, I think in one of our seasons, they picked train almost every single time. Obviously,
Nip?
Pretty threat. But, so they do obviously enjoy train. They're very capable, but it's not one of their go-tos.
Will they pick Nuke every ECS season too?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
You think so? I don't think so.
I think they will.
NIP
were always, they were one of the best teams on Nuke for a long time, and I think they really enjoy the new maps. Are quite good at them quite quickly.
That Nuke is long gone though. Shox getting off to a good start. He did what he could for his team. This is Nico, not expecting much. Actually, Virtus Pro were one of the teams who were also always loved new maps, no matter what the terrible state they were in. Taz was like, yeah, we love a cobblestone. Yeah, everyone else is like, oh my god, what is this? When it first came out. But yeah, Virtus Pro duck to water with new maps. 54 seconds left on the clock at NIP. Will creep, I would say, like Henry G in a club, as opposed to DDK. But he doesn't creep so much as he does stumble and fall, Dan. Or just like roll through the club. Roly-polies?
Rolling through the club.
When was the last time you did a roly-poly, Dan?
Actually, maybe recently.
We have to do those in Jiu-Jitsu class, actually. But more on Jiu-Jitsu later. For now, we'll see if NIP can get their Thug Jitsu going on towards the B bomb site. RPK coming in the D. Scream! What is happening?
What just happened there? Everyone just died. They got in past the smoke. They just pushed one guy in with past the smoke just as they're making contact on the bomb site. And the money sandwich, the money shots. There you go. They're talking about that is some what you were asking about Thug Jitsu. There you go. Got some Thug Jitsu in there.
Both teams on the bye now. So this is a very, I don't even know what the right word to say is, but it's a difficult start for both teams.
Yeah, it's pretty back and forwards. Nobody with distinct control. Lots of crazy situations, and Forrest is probably going to get wrecked. Yes, he's going to get wrecked indeed. I thought it's going to be by another player's hand, but it was Smith after all. Although Body able to respond here as well onto NIP, so NIP getting shut down. And NIP looked like they were going to build the perfect start after after just destroying G2 after the piss around, but instead, no.
I'm not really sure if there was some miscommunication here with NIP with what they wanted to do, because what they initially did with the smokes outside and Forrest going out by himself, that's the A fake they go for, and Gatright is the entry player towards the B bomb side, but he was now by himself, or there was one other teammate with him, but the bomb was still in holes, and there was another T player all the way towards Ivy. So not really sure what the plan was there, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty straightforward round for G2 in the end.
There's actually a chance that a bomb could go down here, although that chance is dwindling, that chance is almost gone, the chance is gone. So G2 will take the lead now, and they have 4 AKs on the side. 4 AKs on the CT side. I mean, and yes, this is an eco now, but if they can retain those, that could make a significant, give them a significant advantage going forward into the future rounds there.
You say 4 AKs, but it's 4 AKs on the likes of... oh, Scream doesn't have one, but Shox, RPK, and Body. I mean, these guys are pretty insane with these rifles. It's just, sorry, Scream decides to keep the M4A1S because he's ridiculous with it, and it's very accurate as well. So with his style, it actually ends up being very efficient. And Body, putting that AK-47 to work here, this mad spray coming out, and he's going to lose it, unfortunately. But it won't amount to too much here. Just an AK in the hands of the Kevlar-less players. That's our NIP. Oh, wow. Actually, Freiburg actually gets a spot on somebody. It's rare that you actually see this boost even amount in seeing anyone. Usually it's just to appreciate the scenery.
Smith wants to be made part of the scenery, Dan. Well, I mean, G2, NIP are on an eco here, and G2 pushed B and Scream pushed on the flank, and they've given NIP a 3 versus 3, and they've given him an AK and an M4. I don't know why they're being so aggressive when they're eco.
What can I do? What's a good idea when the opponents are on an eco? They don't have any armor. They just picked up one gun. Maybe I should try and push behind them and give them another gun.
Maybe I should just play into their advantages and into my disadvantages.
Oh, RPK now needs to win this duel, and he's not going to do it. So G2 are possibly throwing the round away here. There are 23 seconds left. Shox's position is going to be crucial, although the bomb's on the other side of the train at the moment. If Pit plants it in the middle, then he may be spotted by Shox. Oh, he is covered, and Forrest comes in from the back now. Smith needs a very fast 1 versus 2. Down to 1 versus 1, but Smith has got 12 HP. He knows where Forrest is. How much does Forrest have to dance with? Oh, he tags him down to 2 HP. He's got 2 HP. And the bomb is continuing to tick. This could go either way. Now Forrest doing his darndest to hide. Not going to be killed by the flashbang, because at this point, who knows? You could even be killed before nades go off.
Smith doesn't fake.
He can't be shot from here. He can't be shot. Forrest, what are you doing? Forrest doesn't believe, and Smith is going to go for the hero defuse. What a ridiculous round.
Oh my goodness gracious me. What is going on? I mean,
kills him in the end.
The thing is though, is that what the hell is going on G2? Why do they go for these crazy pushes in this round? I mean, the thing is, like, it all looks well and good when maybe most of the time they actually win those rounds like that. But you are playing massively. That's like a massive disrespect play, because you're expecting that team can't wreck you.
No reason to do it in a 4v3. When they were 3v3, RPK had an aggressive position. It wasn't as bad. He just lost the duel there, but I completely agree. No reason to go for it in a 4v3. Just play it safe. Try to figure out where they're going to go, and then just wait for your teammates. You have all the nades, and they would have to go for risky plays because they don't have any armor.
I think what makes it worse is come back to it. Get right. Is he going to survive? Just about. What makes it worse? Well, there's a current place. NIP getting the frags now, and
what makes it worse, James?
The number. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today, Yoko. I don't know. I don't know what I need. G2 with 2 plays left versus 4 of NIP. I can barely function right now. Shox and Body, what do they do in this situation? They need fast frags on Get Right's trying to help them, shooting his teammate. Is he going to creep through the smoke here? Shox, I don't think, has the angle and seek to spawn. Now he has been found, so will the NIP players go on the hunt? Shox and Body moving towards upper B to try and give the CTs more real estate to save them.
and this is the thing, right, is that this round would be fine to lose normally, but they lost 5 players against the Eco. So now all of a sudden, their money is starting to look really, really grim. Only 2 players with any cash, Smiths and Body. Everyone else is very poor. So this buy is going to look very weird, probably. I mean, what can we do here? We've got 10.7 there on Smiths. So you can drop some guns.
Smith drops, Body drops, that's it.
And then IP, all they need now is to just win that 1 round. 1 more round, and they can break G2's money. So we do get the double ops here as well from G2. Smiths and Shocks on those. And NIP going for a play towards Secret. So it's a bit of a default with no presence towards Ali, rather. A quick pick coming in from Body there. The trade going back on from Exist and Forest, chiming in there as Pick gets a very forward position in the yard and Forest can support with that AWP. So looking pretty decent here for NIP. That said, Shocks peeks out, gets the kill onto Pip, evening the numbers.
Scream is seen. Scream is going to be seen no more. RPK moving around the train and Freiburg trying to take him down here, but RPK too many plays for him to deal with. So Shocks versus 3 coming in from the connector position. Their plays heavily tagged. Very nice pre-aim there, but Forest quicker on the trigger finger. 4-4, and indeed the money will be somewhat ruined here for G2.
At least he got to look him in the eye, James, before he pulled the trigger.
He did get to do that. Right then, NIP with an opportunity here. Let's see if their anti-ecos are better than G2's. Oh, what I was trying to say before, with the just worst timing ever, is that when Scream went for that flank, he also kind of weakens the position of one of his team there. Like if they get pushed in numbers and they've made the wrong call with the flank, there's no one to trade.
You're talking about the round where they lost 5 players on an anti-eco?
4.
No, they lost everyone.
No, Forest died to Smiths after Smiths defused the bomb.
Righto.
Just processing that in your mind. At least one of us can process it in their mind. So Get Right and Co moving into the B-bomb site, which only had the 1 person on it, so the CTs will be on the rotation. Molotov's interconnector will be a problem. RPK has Kevlar and a 5-7. Other than that, just pistols on his teammates. So we'll see. I don't know if there's any point at this right now in G2 trying to get back onto the B-bomb site, so you can see them just holding 4 exits. Trying to contain NIP, force them to take Jules to make their escape. It's interesting because, NIP can just save inside the bomb site on the other end, but there are 2 CTs in CT, maybe having a read on that situation. And they can emerge a bit later on. Smith's emerging early though, will get taken down, and now RPK, the timing. He literally looks as soon as Get Right peaks, and he will fall. So Scream of the Deagle to survive, which isn't that much. Right then, so G2 could buy here, and I think they probably will, but it's gonna suck. See how many grenades they can get out. Smith's going to be AWPing Kevlar as well. Nice. Always good when you can buy Kevlar. Are we going to see some aggression towards Ivy? Nope. Just 2 players moving past it. Focusing on main. NIP moving towards B/Popdog. But he has a tight angle there to try and avoid being flashbanged from lower. But NIP maybe moving for a very fast B play here. They've got loads of numbers up high. 2 players here for the CTs though. They're coming out with almost no warning. Get Right flying, getting taken out in the middle of the sky like a clay pigeon. But the site has been cleared. There is a flank coming in though.
Yeah, fire all over the place. So there's pretty much
Hashtag change of pace.
hashtag change of pace.
I mean, it shows a player like Get Right as well, who is known to be a lurker, just jumps from upper to draw attention to himself, and with a simple contact play, Nip gets entrance into B and the bomb is down. The round isn't over then.
Well, it is over.
Problem
Or is it?
Scream is the one with the defuse kit, but he's too far away to go for the defuse.
Yeah.
Which is why, if RBK had the defuse kit, then they probably both pushed there. Such is life. NIP goes 6-4, and G2, they took Forest's AWP. He was holding near Popdog with an AWP and a pistol, with his pistol out. Didn't work out for him. and G2 lose the round, but they keep their AWP and pick up another one. And that is going to be a problem for NIP to deal with. I mean, the counter to this would be to go for a fast B play, for example. We'll see if they choose to do that.
Yeah, this is actually a great. I mean, I feel like there's always an element of confidence to a round like this. We've got 2 AWPs, there's some Deagles, 5-7s, and armor on every player. This is very, very winnable, and you never feel too bad if you don't make something happen. But we've got Scream there. There's the first shot, finds himself ahead to pop. And what else have we got here from G2? There's smokes all over the place to make those AWPs useless. NIP are aware that they saved them, and Freiburg's going to wrap around. But will he have someone pushing him in the back? Looks like no. But he does get the first face there on Connector, and he's going to be able to get that frag. And Shox, he'll also be able to get the trade, as well as Smiths. And all of a sudden, it looks like everyone from NIP are falling like dominoes at this rate. Just exists the last domino to fall. A little bit more stubborn than the rest, and G2 win with 4 players in that round. That's kind of nuts, and NIP's economy is looking okay so far, but G2 have a real possibility to begin really applying that pressure. If they win this one, I think they might be able to force an eco if there's no bomb plant. And we're close to the end of this first half as well.
Well, they chose to go A. I think the big problem was Scream getting the 1D there, because they were looking for a very fast bomb plant, and I guess they were unlucky that there was a gap in the smoke and Scream was there and 1-taps were had. But otherwise, who knows how it goes. They get a bomb plant down, maybe they try and push and take deeper control of the site. Could be done towards B as well. But anyway, they made a decision and it didn't work out on this occasion. So the pressure will continue here for NIP with their buy. 2 players moving up Ivy, get right straight into the reticle of RPK. And down both will go. Scream boosted up on the box. I don't think Forrest has seen his gun. If he looked over there towards Connector, surely he would have seen him on the second occasion. Scream might take Forrest down now. Here's some chinks around the site as Forrest goes for the shot. Sorry, Scream, but I don't think Forrest has any idea where he is.
This is an interesting situation. 2 players coming from Connector, always an awkward spot. The HE will find its way in there. Actually will connect with nothing this time around, because now the CT start to push that angle, and simultaneously we get the push in from the back line as well. Forrest looking to find those kills. Sees 4 players at once, gets the first frag, has the info, goes for the repeat. Where's the trade at? Looks like the other 2 players will be alive, clearing out the alley side there up the side. Forrest still just taking everyone down. Finally, though, the kill comes in, and Scream has time, I think, just barely to get the defuse in. And there it is. Down to the last man, down to the last points of health, the last fibers of life. Scream will stand, and that's G2 with that 6th round.
Who needs more rounds in this half?
The team that will win the game.
And that's why we pay Yanko.
I mean, probably G2, right? You would expect NIP's T side to be stronger than G2's, that they maybe are not going to be able to replicate the same performance. But it depends, obviously. I don't think they're as structured, or not as structured, but not as complex in their T sides. I think they will rely more on some looser, fast strats, depending a lot more on entry kills. So we'll have to see.
Well, no smoke on the end of the balcony there. Maybe NIP trying to be a bit unpredictable, trying to take G2 by surprise, but there is no surprise for G2. They don't lose a single player. Normally when people emerge upper B, they put a smoke in front of that position to stop the AWPers seeing them so easily. And I think that's the second time NIP have just run out raw, and it has not worked out for them. And they will be suffering from a decimated economy now. We have a smoke execute coming in, it seems. Could be done on either side. Moving towards Ivy, though, in numbers.
There you go, we get the play in. And we'll have to see whether or not it's going to work out. There it is, the first push. RPK is going to discard them like last week's dinner. And that's going to be the round. Just a little dink there for some fun from Forrest, but only 1 frag in the end. It won't matter too much anyway. And Scream's just going to shoot Shox.
After the round, of course.
For some reason. It's okay, because of course they can just buy any regardless. Doesn't matter too much, but...
I shot Shox at the plate call thing. I shot him in the head of a pistol deliberately. I didn't kill him though.
Why would you do that?
Just felt like it.
Between all your knife, your team damage, team killing, knife shenanigans, playing with you is stressful, James. Okay,
Dan says playing with other people is stressful.
we've got the two ops here on G2 still in play, and all the smokes there on the outer side, just perhaps to force a response from G2, but there is none, and they've got a bit of a slower play. Forrest trying to shoulder the angle there to get himself towards a more forward position in the outer yard to create opportunities, but it's actually Get Right picking up an opportunity there. He does get traded pretty quickly though. And here is Forrest sneaking around, and still he's able to get even deeper into the sights. Truly a ninja. And it's going to be Pitt to steal away the frag. Forrest at this point is just an observer to all these kills. He'll finally die as Scream and Shocks go hand in hand with the frags to try to save this round. And it looks pretty good here for the French side. Just one more player exists trying to work his way up the ladder here, but he gets dropped straight off the train. 9-2, G2 taking the first half. 9-6. Pretty well played by them overall. Anything that stood out to you, Janko, though?
I think that it was, they were just reacting to what NIP was doing, right? They didn't need to go for some plays on their own because NIP was trying to finish the round pretty quickly most of the time, right? So it was up to G2 just to react to it, and they managed to do a good job, especially in the later part of the half. Of course, they did lose the second round. That's winning pistol, which always sucks.
That's been the story of this entire match, I would say.
Or the day in general.
Yeah, indeed. Win the pistol, lose everything else. Almost. So, G2 with a good first two maps in terms of picks. They are with a great opportunity to take this 2-0. NIP definitely on the back foot after a surprise Dust 2 pick by them. Got to turn the tables now and win the pick of G2.
Let's see if the tables will be flipped. Or will the tables be staying firmly in place, James, in their upright positions? We've got the push in to be really fast from G2. And there is the tapping from Freiburg, connecting with a few players here, but no heads, which is the key connections required. Get Right shows him how it's done, picking up the kill onto Smiths, but Shocks and Body with frags of their own. Get Right still alive, though, trying to win this pistol round here for NIP. Get Right again with the third frag, and all of a sudden, it's under Shocks and Scream, the tap masters of G2 with those pistols. Shocks has picked up a USP, and he is very dangerous now as he looks to try to kill Get Right, but Get Right is actually getting a few tags in there, disincentivizing Shocks for going for the peak. Get Right finds his fourth kill, just systematically exterminating the G2 presence, and he's going to go for the hold now. Manly play from Get Right. He's got the support, and Exist is going to hold it down. What a play from Get Right. Just so looks so calm. So, yep, just going to kill you, and you, and you, and you.
It was really nice the way he bounced off the ladder as well for the third kill, which is an issue we saw yesterday in a separate match where Janko mentioned a bit of ladder play that may have helped, I want to say, Mouse Sports. Was it Mouse Sports?
It didn't help them because they didn't go for it.
Exactly. Would have helped them.
Yes, it was yesterday against Dignitas.
Indeed it was. So, NIP with a crucial pistol round, and Get Right, just like, right guys, I'm going to come in and sort this. Oh, that's just poetry in motion right there. I thoroughly enjoyed that. In fact, the bell will be rung. That's the James Enjoyment bell.
Is it really?
I think it is.
Oh dear, that was pretty brutal. Pretty brutal, and now it's just Shocks. It's just Shocks. Will there be more bells rung?
The bell has many purposes. Today it is the James Enjoyment bell. In North American broadcast, it is the What on Earth is Going On bell.
And it has only been rang once today, James, meaning you're not very pleased.
This is not a good day for me today. I think we can all realize that. I'm doing what I can.
I know how that feels.
Well, I'm going to observe Shocks and see if he can do those. It looks like rabbit ears on his stickers, his G2 stickers. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe I just want it to. Either way, he's dead, and we're going to move into the next round.
Maybe you just don't like samurais for some reason.
I have 3 samurai swords.
All right. That's pretty cool, though, actually.
Yeah,
Are they still sharp?
they are.
Do you play with them sometimes?
I once cut my foot with one a long time ago,
Nice.
but they just they're on display now. They
After the
play-
foot cutting incidents. These were for display.
They're not to be touched ever again.
They spilled blood at least. That is a good sign. Anyway, it's going to be time for Forest and his MP9 to be put to use. G2 about to go in. And when they go in, they go in.
As,
they go in
as a
like
wise
DK,
man
though.
once said,
yeah.
in a country far, far away.
A slow start to the second half. NIP still with the SMGs onto Pit and Forest. This is an interesting flash for Popdog, but it just hasn't worked out. That said, the frags will. Pit now coming in to do what he can, but there are too many G2 players. The bomb's down though, rotation coming in, but it's only Get Right and Freiburg left. Get Right putting in work though, down to 2 versus 1 now, and Freiburg will be put out of his misery by none other than Scream. 8-10 here for G2. Very good start, but NIP can go for their proper buy now since they didn't buy up with those SMGs. That said, Freiburg is going to be a little bit broke.
Well, he's gonna have to make do, James.
He is indeed. He's going to have to do the best he can.
It's Kevlar, FAMAS, and a smoke. The most depressing buy you can have, but G2 going for an outer push then.
Yeah, it's happening. So sudden, Yanko. And all of a sudden, we get 2 kills out of G2. Make that 3 frags as they push really rapidly into the outer bomb side, into the A side itself with the plants. RPK on 3 HP, and there was a flank into the B holes there. But NIP's Get Right, what can he do with this flank? And all of his teammates died so quickly. It's not really a flank if the T's are in the bomb site with the bomb down and all of his teammates are dead. At that point, you're just trying to get it back into the site again. So NIP are going to have to try and save these 2 guns. You can see that their economy is completely smashed to pieces. So G2, if they don't do anything ridiculous, as we saw in their first half in a similar round against an Eco, and if they keep 5 players alive, they've got a really good sort of starting point now to create a huge advantage for themselves.
And we'll have to see how NIP adapts going further into this half, because what's characteristic for G2 on Train is that they don't really go towards the inner bomb site. They seem to favor the outer bomb site. Even if they start losing rounds, they're still going to try and go for it, which is pretty it's pretty defining for them. Not a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams switch a lot, maybe even go for the inner bomb site more, because it's probably easier to take. So NIP should know this if they were preparing for G2, and they should have a plan in place to counter it.
Yeah, we'll see if there's maybe like a 4-man setup that they tend to use or something like that. That would be, from what you're saying, that would be quite logical, but we shall see how the logic is applied in the future rounds. This one is probably just a case of NIP maybe even trying to get right in existing positions where they can keep their rifles into the next round, perhaps even, to try to make sure that their economy is going to be good in the future. But actually, they'll commit both NIP's Get Right and Exist into 4 positions on the A bomb site because they wanted to win this round. That's kind of what it suggests to me. If you know that they're going to be attacking A so often, and you put Get Right and Exist really forward in the A bomb site, it's a good setup to deal with aggression. But you are committing, so they will die.
RPK is going to let 2 of his teammates die before he comes in for the cleanup, but he will clean up everyone else, so it's all fine. Another round taken by G2, taken by force, taken without choice. NIP will have another buy, but time is running out for them, or at least the rounds are, because G2 continue to accrue. So let's see.
What do they accrue, James?
Rounds.
Time for NIP to start winning some gun rounds, boys. Time to get things rolling here. Let's see how they plan to do it. 4 people on the outer bomb site initially to defend the rush, which is not there. And
Does that mean it's wrong, Yanko?
no, it's how you're supposed to open up train most of the times, but your B player has to be aware of it and has to adjust accordingly, seeing as he's the sole player on the bomb site. And now we can see that NIP doesn't have a lot of utility left, so maybe they're sticking with those 4 players towards the outer bomb site, exactly what I was talking about, knowing that G2 prefers going for that outer take. So this is probably a conscious decision from NIP. You can see that even GetRight is playing super close to the outer bomb site in Link.
And that allows them to actually push a player to E-Box, where he otherwise wouldn't be pushing. And you can see that NIP get ahead of the push, cutting it down before he can get out of their choke points with the grenades, which is a key factor. And Buddy, again, it's not much of a flank if your teammates are all dead. So there's the GG, or well, rather, not really a GG, but in that round, there's the end of that round.
Far away from the GG.
Yeah. I say that sometimes when something's over. It's like there's the GG when it's over, but obviously.
Yeah, G2, if they are going to be delayed as much, they need to use flashes to clear those close corners, basically, because it's the most powerful position that the CTs can have to defend a late outer take. So G2, again, prepping for that outer bomb site, it seems. Maybe they're claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic,
They
yeah.
don't want to go into closed spaces. They like the sky.
It does make a lot of sense for that team as well, with all the tapping monsters that they have. Those AKs perform really well with the smokes down and in the chaos. So I can see I can see it fit their style. It fits their style. If you become too predictable, though, it always has its drawbacks.
You can see they have control of halls now, of B halls. So maybe that's a sign of things to come. Maybe they're going to fake the inner bomb side. They're grouping towards there slowly. They only have 3 smokes, so their options are pretty limited. They kind of have to go inner at this point.
And they're going in with no smokes, just raw peaks here. Again, same as the previous round, this time they will pay off for them eventually. The B bomb site has been lost. NIP coming in for the rotation. No smokes required to enter the site. Default plant coming in, and they've got RPK taking a semi-advanced position, and that is a smoke in the middle of B, so they could have gone for the more open plant again. Astralis are the only team that I can recall doing a side plant. Yanko, you look frustrated.
No, I'm not frustrated. I was just going to say that this can work to your advantage, right? When you are known for doing one thing over and over again. Let's say Navi for having that slow pace, and then at the major when they were playing Astralis, they just, in the first and the second gun round, I think, were really going for fast-paced strategies, which completely caught Astralis off guard. They were saving their nades, they weren't expecting that. So it's similar for G2. You can see that both Freiburg and GetRight were really far back into the bomb site. One of the reasons can be that they maybe misjudged G2's money situation. Maybe they expected them to only be on pistols, and that way didn't want to get into close quarter duels with them, or they maybe just expected another outer take, so they wanted to be fast on the rotate. Neither of the things happened. G2 went for a pretty simple contact play with Smiths holding lower and Link, and that got them the entry kills, and they secured the round after that. I say secured way too much.
Do you feel secured? Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with security, though.
I do feel secured.
Good.
That's good.
Well, we've got 3 players around Ivy here for NIP, obviously not concentrating on Ivy itself. There is a lurker in Shocks, but he's deciding to rotate. The rest of his side are in the rooms, in the halls, and it seems they'll be going over towards the B bomb site again. But what kind of play will it be? They're approaching 1 minute on the clock. GetRight is alone, holding an incendiary, looking to set people on fire. It comes. A bit of a pop flash coming in for him, but he's going to get fully wrecked here by Scream. Freiburg's close though, takes down Body, but how many more can he get? So many assailants showing at the same time, proving a little bit difficult for him. So Smiths is, I don't know what he's doing there, but he's going to get a kill through. I mean, I didn't even understand what just happened there, but it worked. That was kind of amusing. So 3 NIP players left. One pretty far away in main, but that's an important early frag here for Pit.
Yeah, nice snap. And now it's down to Scream, Smiths and Shocks to kill the remaining 3 of NIP. The Swedes creep ever closer. Exist up on the top. Getting a good vantage point there, and Scream's just going to die. He is just going to straight up get wrecked. There's no Molotov to be thrown here from the top position, so that means the Shox needed his teammates alive. There's still 3 left. Ooh, can't get the shot onto Exist. I don't know. I really don't know that it would have. In fact, it wouldn't have bought enough time anyway. But still, it's going to be the round there for NIP, and that seemed like a really weird afterplant for G2.
Exactly, they were in a 4v3 before RPK died, and I think the Smiths maybe thought he has a smoke instead of a Molotov left, because why would he ever throw the Molotov that close? That just denies him the ability to help his teammates. But yeah, a really tough loss for G2 in that round. They really had the advantage going for them, and now they need to bounce back.
Yeah, that was a very important round for NIP to win. 3 AWPs on the map at the moment, 2 of which will be on Get Right and Pits. Get Right, the occasional AWPer. We've seen some great stuff from him with the AWP so far this week. Smiths, is he going to strafe? Because if he strafes, he may die.
Here we go. Here we go, James. Here we go.
Where are we going then?
We're going all over the place, James.
Awesome.
We're going everywhere, all around the world. But first, we'll see Forrest move closer to Team N. He wants a bit of a look in, and he's going to find himself Scream. Scream was not happy to see him. Oh dear. Looks like Smiths will peak indeed. The crab walk this time around is going to get dropped. And now it's time for the remainder of G2 to try to go for a risky play. Get some taps in here. That was, I think, maybe a headshot through the wall, but no frag for RPK. His teammates are dropping. Well, he is dropping. His teammates will probably soon be dropping as well, as it's going to be very hard to push in here with such low HP. Shox gets another frag there. Ridiculous from Shox. Looking at the next one. How on earth will Shox get a 3rd kill? And all of a sudden, Body comes in. What a ridiculous scenario that are completely won by NIP. That looked like NIP completely had that. That was a 2 versus 4. And Shox is allowed to run out of bullets.
And Body had 6 HP. Just misplay from NIP's individual players, basically. While Pith, I think, was in hell, he was hiding, but players were peeking out of Link. And Shox, he only had duels. They were in a 4v2, and he got, I think, 3 duels off, and Pith in the end gets killed in the back by Body from Ivy. And that's a tough loss for NIP. They're on a really sketchy buy now. 3 pistols off on Pith without armor, and Freiburg on a UMP.
Difficult times ahead for the Swedes. What a crazy round.
I mean, look what it did to them.
It's decimated them.
Look at what it has done, James.
It's decimated, it's annihilated. Exist can't even reach the AWP without it costing a lot of his HP because of the Molotov. Another one as well. They are not letting them get anywhere close to that AWP.
It's going to be molten soon. Oh dear. Everyone's dying. NIP have no money. They lost the only chance back into this round almost immediately. Getray's going to just throw a very nice pop flash in there to pick himself up a weapon, and Exist picks up a kill. Maybe another one. No. It's down to Get right now, and he's going to die. So it looks very much like G2 are going to take this one now because NIP have nothing to buy with. Their money is terrible. This is the worst possible situation for the Swedes.
I think the worst possible situation would be if they all got back banned. Just to be annoying there. So second worst possible situation for NIP at the moment. They've got nades, they've got pistols, they don't have much else. G2 are going for the raw push again. RPK showing to Connector, despite the fact that the CTs get there first. This is a complete disaster. How? Just why? 4 versus 1 now. Shox alone, they don't have the bomb. There's not much they do have. It's just careless from G2. RPK just charging through Connector. Everyone knows, including him, that the CTs get to Connector faster than the Ts get to T main. So you can't just run there with a smoke in your hand because you're going to get wrecked.
Well, they've given away 4 weapons, one of which is an AWP, 3 AKs.
to a force buy.
If there was a way to allow NIP back into this, obviously it's losing this round because they're because they're already on 15. But the fact that that potentially 4 of them will survive with 3 AKs and an AWP, and their economy was so awful, that's ridiculous. But Shox, he's not done just yet. He's going to pick up a quick headshot there and see if he can't just kill everyone on the NIP team. But it's not going to happen in the end.
Course.
He is indeed dead, and NIP have something to play with now. And G2, you can't really say the same for them. They don't have any money now, so this gets really weird and awkward. How do you feel, Yanko?
I feel that mistakes were made then playing against pistols, and now they need to win a gun round to win the game, which they showed that they're perfectly capable of. But there's not many rounds left to play with, so they're gonna have to do it soon.
Well. G2 with 4 rounds to play with, and the bomb is going to be lost.
It's a present from the sky, from above. A gift from the gods.
At least it wasn't bird poop, Dan. Those are the usual presents from above, or Hellstones. Shox with an opportunity, a window. Pit's out of position here, but Freiberg is going to be covering him. 2 kills for him. So it's Scream versus 4 without the bomb. It's just about how much damage can he do on this occasion. Got to keep himself with the 1 versus 1. Down goes Forrest, but that will be his lot. So NIP continuing to build the bank as they continue to close the gap. Now we will probably see a buy coming in, but Scream's only got $2,700 in the bank, so perhaps he went a little bit too far in the previous round.
What do you want to see in this round, Yanko, for G2? What do you want to see from them?
It is difficult for them now. As you can see, they don't have an op, Scream only with the Tech 9, and they have enough utility, RPK only with 1 smoke, but what I would like to see from them is probably a B fake at this point. Try and secure a ladder, and after that wait for the CTs to spend some more utility and then go for a B fake. But they seem to be going for another A take with the smokes.
Another retake with the smokes. And it's Pit to open it up here. Out of the gate with a frag for NIP. The spray from Get Right will find another kill, and all of a sudden G2 are falling man after man. It's down to Smiths and Shox against 4.
Pit's close towards Ivy at the moment, although that Molotov might go a little bit too far. So still work to be done here, but now it's Smiths alone and they know where he is. 3 versus 1 minute on the clock. Tries to get the 1 versus 1 with Forrest, but he can't find the tap. It's interesting, they put a wall of smoke down and it got killed through the part they didn't smoke.
Exactly, they're not really needed to peek there anyway. But yeah, these smoke rounds can always get a bit random, right? If the CTs get good timings, if they want to flash through the smoke, or the Ts as well. We saw that Gatorade got a kill through the smoke and then smartly waited for the player to push once he was out of bullets. But if he doesn't get the kill and dies instead from that push through the smoke, things might have gone the other way. But at this point, NIP should probably have a good idea of how G2's outer take looks, and they seemed to have a good setup to counter it.
It does feel, to a large extent, that Train is G2's map, but they really have trouble finding a way to close the map. And there's a lot of teams that have this issue, whereas they struggle to close from the advantage that they may have.
I don't really think so. When it comes to G2, at least recently, right? They've had issues like in the Luminosity game. At Pro League, they had to come back from an 11-4 first half deficit. Then in the Fnatic game as well, they were on the T side, and it was close towards the end, and they just managed in the end to win 3 or 4 consecutive rounds that they needed with exactly these outer takes. So I think they've shown that they have the composure and the mental strength to close out games.
Right.
It's just that teams will pay more attention to them right now and maybe have a plan in set for their playstyle specifically.
That's a good answer. I've got the auto sniper on Get right now. He's pulled out the dirty gun, James. It's dirty. It's filthy. It's disgusting.
It is indeed.
It's the auto sniper.
Got two NIP players playing at the back of... Oh, and I think he's got a rifle next to him as well, so he can switch up if he needs to get close for a retake, which is pretty damn smart.
First world problems, of course.
Indeed it is. So, NIP in a round that they must win. G2 in a round they cannot afford to lose. And this is... wow. Well, no frag for Get Right whatsoever. I thought they were going to be straight into the meat grinder there, but it was him turned into the mince. 5 versus 3, and G2 with a great opportunity to just move to the CT side of the B-bomb site. 5 versus 2 now, and I think this might be the GG, Dan.
Those 2 entry frags were just so insane. Just immediate entry frags. You can't ask for a better way into a bomb site. And Pit has to try to clutch this against 5 players. Not going to happen. So G2 are going to be able to defeat NIP first on Dust 2 and then on Train. And we had a close series on our hands. You know, NIP, despite picking into G2 with that Dust 2 pick, you know, losing those pistol rounds, they still provided a close game. And they did a good effort trying to come back on Train, but it seemed like G2 series.
I'm not sure if Getright actually hit Scream twice, but both times in the legs.
In the legs.
So Scream survived with 11 HP, but it was enough for his team to already push towards lower and to kill Getright, which was really important since he was holding a really passive position to try and get a kill or two before they can go for the retakes. He dies and G2 manages to gain ground right there. But yeah, another close game, I mean, for NIP, but they just can't seem to figure out G2 enough.
It's so hard. It must be really hard to play against a Scream and a Shox when they're on form and they're hitting entry shots like that, because you're just put in a situation where what can you do? You can't win around like that almost, because they take the bomb site so fast. You can't get back into the choke points, that's always a dynamic on the B bomb side as well. You see a lot of teams that kind of underestimate the power of being able to quickly push into taking control as Ts of connector and CT spawn.
Exactly. I think that in both maps, actually, you can't really say that there were mistakes from either of the teams or some bad calls. Yes, NIP did lose that round against Pistols in the first half. That might have proven to be detrimental for them. But then again, G2 as well lost a similar round. So I think it was pretty even on that point. And in the end, when it came down to the executes and to the gun rounds, G2 was just better today. They were just better. And I think that NIP will have something to regret here regarding their map veto. Simply, I just feel that if they would have picked probably Overpass as the first map, I think that would have been a clear win for them. And then, okay, Train, you lose in this fashion, pretty close. Then for the third map, I would want Dust 2 to be the third map even. You know, maybe G2 would have picked it instead of Train if it was open, but maybe try and get to something like Cobble for a third map.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna ask Threats about the map selection there, because it is a bit of an interesting one. But yeah, James, any highlights from that matchup?
The veto pick. The map picks were the highlight for me. Just really interesting that they picked Dust 2 against G2.
For me, it's cool to see that continued form as well from Shox and Scream, because that's the question for me. Is it going to be just sticking?
Yeah, and for me, it wasn't Scream that much here. Yes, he had good rounds, but he wasn't, you know, exploding like he was maybe at Pro League. Yes, Shox was really good on both maps, but in the first map it was Body really contributing a lot. Here it was more of a team effort all around.
All right, well, are we ready with the rankings now? Because it is, of course, time to take the lay of the land and see where all the teams lie for the playoffs. Of course, we've completed all the matches now, and it's the playoffs that will decide who goes to the finals, and of course we need to see who is going to be making it to LAN. So it's here it is. What are the initial thoughts?
Well, it says 7 played for NIP and G2, but ignore that. It's definitely 8. You can see 5 and 3 for both of them. So we've got 3 teams on 15 points.
And I still think that this is not... I mean, I'm not really sure, but if you're looking head-to-head first, then G2